Hey, Mr. Thomas. So, for my project, I'm doing the Mohandas Gandhi political speech. The speech I'm doing is the I Quit India speech. Have fun! Okay, let me start now. Before you discuss the resolution, let me place before you one or two things I want you to understand very clearly and consider them from the same point of view from which I am placing them before you. I ask you to consider it from my point of view, because if you approve of it, you will be joyed to carry out all I say. It will be a great responsibility. There are people who still ask me if I'm the same man I was in the 1920s, or whether there has been any changes in me. You are right in asking that question. Let me, however, hasten to assure you that I am the same Gandhi as I was in 1920. I have not changed in any fundamental respect. I have attached the same importance to nonviolence that I did then. If at all, my emphasis on it has grown stronger. There has been no real contradiction between the previous resolution and my previous writings and utterances. Occasions like the previous do not occur in everybody's, but rarely is in anybody's life. I want you to know and feel that there is nothing but pure anisma in all that I am saying and doing today. The draft resolution of the working committee is based on anisma. The contemplated struggle similarly. The contemplated struggle similarly to its roots in isma. If therefore there is any among who no.
I just missed the whole Okay. I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. If therefore there is any among you who has lost faith in anisma or is wearied of it, let him not vote for this resolution. Let me explain my position clearly. God has vouchsafed to me as a priceless gift in the weapon of anisma. I and my anisma are on our trail today, if in the presence of crisis. When the earth is being scorched by the flames of hymns too, and crying for deliverance, I have failed to make use of the God-given talent. God will not forgive me, and I shall be judged unwrongly of the great gift. I must act now. I may not hesitate and merely look on where Russia and China were threatened. Ours is not a drive for power, but purely a non-violent fight in India's independence. A violent struggle and a successful general has been often known to effect a military coup and to set a dictatorship. But under the Congress scheme of things, essentially non-violent as it is, there can be no room for dictatorship. A non-violent soldier of freedom will covet things for himself. He fights only for the freedom of his country. The Congress is unconcerned as to who will rule when its freedom is attained. The power, when it comes, will belong to the people of India, and it will be for them to decide to whom it placed in the entrusted. Maybe that the reins will be placed in the hands of the Parsis, for instance, as I would love to say, to see I would love to see happen, or they may be handed to some others whose names are not heard in the Congress today. It will not be for you then to object, saying, this community is microscopic. That party did not play its due part in the freedom struggle. Why should it have all the power? Ever since its inception, the Congress has kept it meticulously free of the communal taint. It has thought always in terms of the whole nation and has acted accordingly. I know how imperfect our amisma is and how far away we are still from the ideal. But in amisma, there was no final failure or defeat. I have faith, therefore, that in spite of our shortcomings, the big thing does happen. It will be because God wanted to help us by crowning with success our silent, unremitting Sahanda for the last 20 years. I believe that in the world of history, there has not been a more genuinely democratic struggle for freedom than ours. I read Carlyle's French Revolution while I was in prison, and Pandit Jawaharlal has told me something about the Russian Revolution. But it is my conviction that inasmuch as these struggles were fought with the weapons of violence, they failed to realize the democratic ideal. In the which I have envisioned, a democracy established by nonviolence, there will be equal freedom for all. Democracy. There we go. Everybody will be his own master. It is to join a struggle for such a democracy that I invite you today. Once you realize this, you will forget the differences between the Hindus and Muslims and think of yourself as Indians only, engaged in the common struggle of independence. And cut.